So back to the channel, guys, in yet another chess video, and I'm back again, and this time I will show you an attacking game of mine. And yeah, I just crushed my opponent with this attack. And in this game I played the Grand Prix attack and against my opponent's Sicilian defense, and Grand Prix attack is a very good choice as white against black Sicilian. So let us see how the game goes. So I had the white pieces in hand and I opened up with e4, king pawn opening, normal stuff. Opponent again replied with c5, and this is the Sicilian defense. I played knight to c3, opponent develops his knight on c6, and now I played f4, and this is the Grand Prix attack. So opponent played d6, and now I developed my other knight on f3. Now we have queen to c7 on the board, and now I played bishop to b5. a6 is a move to kick away the bishop, but I moved forward with my knight to d5, attacking the queen. So black cannot take my bishop now because then he will lose his queen. So opponent moves his queen to a5, double attacking my bishop, but I just chose to take the knight in order to spoil my opponent's pawn structure. And then I retreated with the knight to c3, and as you can see, the black spawns on c file are doubled. So anyways, opponent continues with g6, preparing for the move bishop to g7, and now I castled kingside. We have bishop to g7 finally on the board, and now I continued with rook to b1. And after bishop to g4, I kicked away the bishop via h3. Opponent retreated his bishop to d7, and now I played a3, because in this position actually, the reason I played a3 is that because I was afraid that my opponent will take my knight with his bishop and then later on capture the a2 pawn, but that didn't happen. So I played a3, and now my opponent developed his other knight on f6. We have d3 on the board, and now my opponent played knight to h5, preparing for knight to g3 move to attack my rook. And now I played queen to e1, and this is a standard move of the Grand Prix attack. You will normally play moves like queen to g3 or queen to h4 in order to attack your opponent's king, and this move also prevents the idea of knight to g3, so there's no knight to g3 now as well. So let's continue. Now my opponent castles kingside, and now I played bishop to d2, just quietly developed my bishop, and I am also threatening a discovered attack on the queen, although it won't be that effective. But still my opponent moved his queen to c7, and now I played f5. And after g takes on f5, which was a mistake, I played e takes on f5. After bishop takes on f5, this was an inaccuracy too. You know why? Because of the move g4, and I spotted this beautiful fork. I forked my opponent's knight and bishop. So my opponent had to sacrifice his bishop for a pawn, and then he backed up his knight to f6. But now I played queen to h4, preparing for a mating attack on my opponent's king, and it's already plus 2.97 for white now, which means I'm winning in this position. It's not completely winning because black will have to find accurate moves, but instead of that, opponent plays d5, and now I played knight to g5, which was an inaccuracy because it allows the move h6, and then I will have to back up with the knight and waste a move. So that's what my opponent played. Opponent quickly played h6, and I had to back up with the knight. I played knight to f3 again. Opponent played e5, and now I played bishop takes on h6. and it's already plus 5.32 for white now. And after e4 I played knight to g5, and my queen, knight and bishop, all three of my pieces are attacking my opponent's lonely king. So opponent played queen to d7, but I simply took his bishop, and after king takes on g7 I played rook takes on f6, and I just decided to give an exchange sack. You know why? Because I wanted to checkmate my opponent. And in this position, the best move for black is to actually play rook to h8 to attack the queen, and but it would be still winning for me. And so let's continue. In this game, my opponent chose to accept my rook sacrifice. He plays king takes on f6, which was a big mistake, and it's already a mate in 4 now. You know why? So let us see how. I continued with the move knight G takes on e4, and it's a double check. Not only the queen's attacking the black king, but also my knight. And whenever it is a double check, the opponent enemy king has to move. There's no other way to save it double check rather than moving your king. So my opponent tries to move king to g7, but to no avail, as I continued the mating attack with the moves like queen to g5 check, and after king to h8 I hit the final nail in the coffin with the move queen to h6 check, and it was in this position on move 29 that my opponent resigned the game, as there is nothing much to be done here. And you have only move in this position, which is king to g8, and then knight to f6 will be checkmate. And not only that, when my knight will deliver a checkmate, it will also be attacking the queen along with the king, so that would be really beautiful. But instead of that, my opponent saw all this and he resigned, and I gained another victory. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.